about what you do when there's Hamas all around. So the Torah talks about Hamas. Doesn't talk about our Hamas. It talks about Hamas thievery, robbery, bad actions, and it speaks about how you protect yourself, how you elevate yourself above Hamas. So that already stood out to me. A lot of people were writing about that last week. But it gives you practical direction for what we can do. Many times you feel like, what can I do? What can I do? You try your best to contribute money. You maybe you post different things. You try to change public opinion. But what can you do as an individual? Here are a few ways that you can impact the situation by not necessarily going outward, but going inward. And he gives 4 ways to go into the teiva, go into the ark, and each way elevates you above Hamas, about what's going on in the world, and helps pick up the nation. So the first one I'm not going to go into, that's Shabbat, like guarding the Shabbat. He talks about how in the ark there were 3 levels. He says on Shabbat we have 3 parts of our soul that we're fixing, and similarly I would say you have 3 meals. There's some correlations between Shabbat and the ark. The Shabbat can be an ark. It can be a place that we go, we find refuge, and we elevate ourselves above what's going on. But the next 3 are the ones I want to focus on, especially number 3, which I thought was I've never really seen a work talk about number 3. So I'll talk about number 1 on the outside with you. Number 2 on the outside, and we'll focus on number 3 together. Number 2 is what? Number 2 is on the first page. I'm not going to really go deep into it. I will. If you go to the second page, you can look at the part I underlined. The second part I underlined, it says, "Shetiyeh pina tehora ashmura mikol ashchitut sham yitromem Yehudi l'Hashem yitbarach." So Torah is this oasis of holiness that you can be involved in, and in that space you can elevate yourself above all the troubles, everything that's going on. You can inject spirituality into your life, and in that place, the waters below can't touch you. You're in the teiva, and I think that's a way that we as individuals can elevate ourselves and elevate Am Yisrael. I strongly believe we're all connected. The more Torah we learn, the stronger we'll be as a nation. We need strength. We need physical strength. We need spiritual strength as well. So what we're doing tonight is a step in that direction with learning. But I mean, also on an individual level, if you're able to pick up a little bit more learning and strengthen yourself in that area, that can be very powerful. Just to add on a little bit more, find ways to elevate yourself spiritually in terms of learning. That can be very helpful for the nation. That's the first teiva, the first arc. The second arc is this fantastic idea I've never really seen anywhere except in his writings, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't appear. It's just I've been through a lot of Hasidic writings that I haven't seen this idea. Usually when we say the third arc, the first one's Shabbat, the second one's Torah, the third one is togetherness, unity. Now, when we talk about unity, we often talk about unity for the sake of something else. Let's get together to read Tehillim. Let's get together to learn. Let's get together for positive things, for chesed. He says just good people coming together is already creates a certain type of protection and an elevation. I've never seen that idea. So he says that's why Noah brought all the tehurim, all the pure ones, into the ark. He brought everything pure into the ark. Pure people and holy and good intentioned people, when they're together, good things happen. Similarly, bad intentioned people and bad people, when they come together, bad emerges from that. So he says, put yourself around positive people, come together as a community, come together as people, and that in itself can be very elevating and be an ark, be a protection from the Hamas that's all around us. I thought that was a beautiful idea because many times you don't often talk about coming together for the sake of coming together. It's something that's a great value in that. His language is so powerful. I'm going to read, if you know the Hebrew, I'm going to read the part I put in a box here. This is number 3 in the box. Let's go 5 lines down. When people with a good trait come together, good things emerge from that unity. He says, even if they don't do anything. Right? So we have this concept of JFKs. You know what the JFKs are? Just for Kiddush. People come just for Kiddush, not to shul. So many rabbis are like, the JFKs. But according to this, it's a good thing. The more people we get together, the more good people we get together, the more power we have as a people. The more positivity we have, it's good. Obviously, good also come to shul. So he says like this. When good people come together, it strengthens the good. There's more good. So keep coming together. Keep being with other Jews. Keep being with good people. That will bring goodness into the world. That's a very powerful idea. Like, we should come together. People want to come together because they feel scared or lonely. But coming together also provides strength to Am Yisrael and to each other. And so he says, when in the opposite, when people with bad traits come together, bad things happen. We see that also. So if you look on the bottom of that column, he says, Ba'alken hit gabrut, the very bottom of that column on the second page. Ba'alken, third line up. Ba'alken hit gabrut hayetzerah chazaka me'od b'inyan zeh. The yetzer is very strong to withhold us from coming together as people. It's very strong, like the evil, like the evil inclination doesn't want us to come together. Because it wants to keep us away from this achdu, from this unity, because that unity is what's going to strengthen us and elevate us and good come together. And the remedy for that is to come together, people with good traits. It says like this, and I'm going down to that now, second column, the sixth line down. Our strength is only in our unity. He says, and when we're separated, that's the advice of the yetzer, of the evil inclination, to separate us. And we saw in Am Yisrael, like a few months, like maybe a month ago, there was a great separation. Now people are sadly around everything that's going on. There's greater unity. Good things come from unity. Every generation there's a teiva of Noah. Every Yehudi has a teiva Noach shmira. That's a protection from everything that can happen. That's why the Hasidim were so important for them to come together, like Farbriggans and Kumsitzes and those types of things, because that unity is a strength. There's strength in that, it's coming together. And that's protection for everything. That's a beautiful idea. Now the third, so I was just reading this one, I was like, whoa, like where'd this come from? It's like felt like it like dropped in Shemayim from heaven, like this text. Now there's a fourth one. The fourth one, he says, every I'm not gonna go so deep into it, but every Jew has a spark, divine spark. You heard that concept before. But he says something special about that. He says that divine spark is that special thing that you're connected to. That divine spark has something that you can develop that unique spark through a unique part of Torah. Everybody has something that they're good at, like they're passionate about when it comes to Judaism. It could be that you like to cook. It could be that you like to tie tzitzis. It could be like that you like to do challah. It could be that you like to go be korcholim to visit people. It could be that you like to go help others. It could be like to learn Torah, like learn Mishnah, like learn Talmud. Everybody has something davening, tehillim, talking to Hashem. Everyone has that thing that they're good at. He says, take that thing and continue being good at it. Like, be better at it. Keep putting energy in that area. It's like many people ask, like, what can I do? Here are three things. Come together with good people. Learn extra Torah. And this is for each individual. What are you good at? What's that thing that you're passionate about, that you succeed in, that you thrive in when you're doing it when it comes to Judaism? Put more energy in that area. That's what he says. So as he says here, he says, if you look at the underlying part in the second column, going down, God put the divine spark in all of us. From that spark you have divine energy, power. As much as you're like sunk in the physicality, you can like latch onto that nitzotz, that spark you have, and elevate yourself above the Hamas, above negativity. And he says that's bechinat teivat Noach. That's Noach. She needs the spark. There's no resha in that area. There's no evil, and that's teivat Noach. It sees you from the mabul. And he says that's inyan chasid the davar echad. That's a chasid. You could be a chasid, a righteous person for one thing. She says like that. There's one thing that you guard no matter what, that you're very good at, you're connected to, no matter what happens. And that's your teivat Noach. And it's a powerful idea. I don't know. It's like you wonder what you can do. Here are some things you can do. These are in addition to more extroverted things for Am Yisrael. These are introverted. This is Tevat Noah.
Yeah.
Going inside and doing a few things that can help yourself and help Am Yisrael. Now, on the next page, he kind of brings a conclusion to this. He says, he mentions two things, and I underlined it, but I'll just tell you on the outside. He says that Noah, when he sent out, yes, on page Nun Gimel, after 4 already. Page Nun Gimel, it's like the third page. Well, it's back to back. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 2A. 2A. You have 1A, 1B, and then 2A, right?
Where?
1, 2, 3. Nun Gimel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah.
It's not numbered. It's not numbered. There's no number. I underlined it here. Take a look. Underlined here.
Yeah.
He says here that he mentions two things. He says Noah sent out the dove le'et erev, like toward the evening. Right? He sent out the dove, says le'et erev. And the dove came back with something bitter. It came back with an olive branch. And the sages say that teaches us that like we should be willing to work for what we earn, even if it's bitter. And he says these two things come together. Why does the verse say that he sent out in the evening? Because in dark times, you have to be open to making yourself a little bitter, putting a little extra work in for Am Yisrael. And all of us can think about that. Like we don't have to make ourselves suffer, but like areas where you might be a little bit more bitter for you, or you might have to push yourself a little bit more for Am Yisrael. These are 4 ways to do it. I didn't go so much in the Shabbat one, but like each one of these are ways that we can like push ourselves a little bit more. All of us together, we can build momentum as our community overall, and like overall in Eretz Yisrael. If everyone's doing something, we can feel like we're doing something, and we really are contributing, I believe. Yeah.
I don't know